Sean
Vic?
McDermott right down two on the track.
How we doing, gang?
1 second, guys. Sorry.
No problem.
All right, good evening once again, everybody out at the live Bills headquarters, Bills GM Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. Just stepping to the podium to recap day 2 of the NFL draft. The Bills with 3 picks.
So you did some dealing, and you weren't gonna get through this thing without making some moves. So if you could walk us through what your thinking was behind the moves you made tonight.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Cody, we had a very good grade on Cody, and we even looked into late last night potentially getting at the end of the first, but it was a little rich for us. We felt like we would be giving up too many assets to do that, and so we made some calls, and fortunately he was there to make that move with Oakland and pick him up, and he'll come in here and you know, he can play right tackle or guard for us. I would say position 1 for us right now would be right tackle, but we do like versatility to go inside. He's smart and physical and would be fine in there.
To move up for that pick, you only went up a couple of spots, Brandon. Did you knew who you wanted? You want to make sure you got him, or is there maybe something going on where you felt that maybe someone else could take and you didn't want that to happen?
Well, a couple things. One, he was standing out on our board as a guy that we felt worthy. We put the time in and thought he fit what we're doing. And second of all, there was a run on tackles. So that's generally what happens. You see positions. So as it was starting to get thin, we honestly thought, you know, when Carolina traded right in front of us, tackle was one of their needs as well. And they went with a tackle. They just wanted a different tackle. So, you know, we felt fortunate to get Cody.
And Tampa, did you feel Tampa could potentially, they might have a need at tackle?
Yeah, I mean, there's never enough tackles in this league, so you have team needs, but you know, when there's a tackle there, and honestly, all these picks, before we go through them all, they were the highest player on our board, and we truly stuck to that. You know, I know we went heavy at running back, getting Singletary, but we followed the board.
When you look at offensive linemen, and you really weren't kidding when you said, you know, you're not afraid of taking one pretty high. How 14 offensive linemen is a lot, and how do you now sort through that, whether it's you, Brandon, or you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I would just start off, competition's a good thing, you know, and I know, you know, we both believe in building it up front, and if you study the league over the years, I'm sure you guys do, you've got to have it on both sides of the ball. It starts up front, and so when you look at, you know, not only Cody, but really the other picks today and yesterday with Ed, smart, tough, there's something to be said for those 2 qualities right there.
Coach, you mentioned several times last season winning at the line of scrimmage was a problem at times. I mean, Cody Ford looks like he checks that box in a big way. Would you agree with that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's got to come in here and earn it just like Ed does and all the rest of the draft picks, and that's how we do things, you know that, Chris. So, he is smart, he is tough, and we're anxious to get him in here and get him integrated into what we do, how we do things, just like the rest of the picks. So, but when you look at the way he played, his play style was physical, but it wasn't just physical, it was under control, and he brought some leadership to that football team as well. So
Brandon, Knox looks like a really interesting candidate here. I mean, athletically, it seems like he can do a lot, even though there wasn't the great production. As you're scouting him and not seeing all that production, what were you seeing from him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good athlete. He tested well, and was able to see him live this year versus South Carolina. And warming up, you could just see, you know, I didn't feel that they used him to accentuate some of the things that he does well. But he's one of those guys, he is a combo guy. You know, some of the tight ends we think are truly just an F flex, or some are just a Y that you really don't want to include in the passing game a lot. I do think he is a dual threat, and I think he's got upside. You know, I think the biggest thing that he's had is, he's had some durability things that have held him back. You know, we think we have a good idea of how to handle that, and he'll come in here and he'll compete, with Tyler and Jason Kroom and the other guys that we have on.
Brandon, on the surface, your running back room looks pretty crowded, to the point where it's hard to envision how you're gonna fit all of them onto your active roster.
Yeah.
How does Singletary's addition impact that?
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, we followed the board, and he was sticking out. We felt like he was the best player on the board. You got to follow that, and we know we've got some age there too, and so to add a young guy, we felt was a smart move, not only for this year but for the future. And again, Sean said it. We believe in competition, and LaShawn McCoy is still here. Before you ask that question, he's still the starter. We roll the ball out. There's no questions about that. And Devin, just like we've said about Cody and Ed, he'll come in here and compete. And wherever he slots when we get ready to play games is where it'll end up being.
Brandon, to widen the lens over 10 weeks, 18 free agent signings, what you've done so far, I know you got more drafting to do, but what you've done so far, and especially these first 2 picks looking like guys that would have a really good shot at immediately starting, and the starters perhaps that you pulled out of free agency, you've remade this roster in such a big way. What's your philosophy in terms of how you've approached things up to this moment right now, and in terms of the amount of immediate impact you can expect from what you got?
Yeah, good question, Vic. To reiterate some of what I said after free agency, we felt our defense was playing up here, and we felt our offense was down here, and there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of it's at me, personnel-wise. And so we made a concerted effort in free agency to add pieces, a lot at the O-line. We were not happy with our O-line play. It was inconsistent. It was good at times last year, but there was an effort to fix a lot of that in free agency, but we also wanted to add youth. And Sean said it, we believe in winning up front. And there were frustrating times when some of the games we didn't win last year, I think it came down to losing the battle up front. And I said, if nothing else this year, we're going to fix that.
And it feels like if anything, expectations will naturally grow with all of this for the team's immediate success versus,
Yeah, I mean,
process building. All
that is a challenge. I can pick all these players, and let's just say they're all great grade A players. It doesn't mean we still have to have a team, and that's where Sean and his staff, it'll be a challenge for them. And I know Sean will answer the challenge that it is. It's not easy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just to the point of the expectations being elevated by the additions that have been made over this 10-week span right up to now.
Well, I would start, Vic, by saying, no one puts higher expectations on us than us, right? We think, and we work to be the best we can be every day, and that's really the mindset of our building. And so, expectations come in this game, right? And really where we are going into year 3, or in year 3, this is, and you asked Brandon about it, we've had to remake the roster, and so that takes time, and Brandon's done a good job. We're still working on that. We still have more picks, and so my biggest challenge, and it's probably one of the bigger challenges around the league, is how you bring a team together. And quite frankly, when you've added 17 free agents and now draft picks to that, there's a chance that half of our team is new, and that's a little bit uncommon around the league, but that's part of building it the right way also. There is change, and you have to embrace it, evolve, and if you don't evolve, then you're not around very long. So that's part of the growth mindset here, and the competition is healthy, right? To stay where we were, that's not healthy, right? That's not. We're here to win championships, and we do it one day at a time, and it takes time. But I like what we've done this off season, and listen, we're a couple months away from playing a game here, so we've got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Brandon, what did your board tell you about specifically the wide receiver position as it started to fall on the second round? There was tons of guys coming off the board. Where did things sit for you as you were debating whether to move up and move around a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we had some guys, but they were not as high as Cody in the second, and then I think you saw there was a run on receivers, and the next pick was Devin, and by then there was nothing available that we thought the value fit to what Devin could do for us.
With the offensive line additions alone, and going and including today with Cody, how much do you expect more from the running game now? Just given how much that line was a patchwork unit and what you have right now, how much do you expect maybe to rejuvenate a LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore in some ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, competition, and we've got, we wanted to bring in, LaShawn's obviously been here, he's an established player in this league, probably the, other than Josh, maybe now one of the most well-known players on our team. Frank Gore, we know his history, his leadership, his toughs, guy playing, and now we've added a little bit of youth. I mean, TJ Yeldon we added, who was drafted 36th overall, 4 years ago. So we think we've got a guy who's, in the middle of his career, kind of still ascending, and then we've added Devin. So we've got guys, it's competition. Honestly, we're gonna, as Sean said, we're gonna roll it out. We're a couple of months away from real football, and I don't know the order how a lot of these positions, whether it's O-line, receiver, tight end, running back, I don't know how it's gonna shake out, but in time, we'll figure that out.